Welcome to The Perfect Exposure, where every episode we bring to you home industry experts where we discuss related topics. I'm your host, Mary Coons of Mary Light Photography, and I'm here today with
Brenda Mayette.
Thanks for joining us on episode 3 of The Perfect Exposure.
Thanks for having me. I'm super excited to be here.
This is like our dream come true. It's like we've been wanting Brenda on the show. That's like a must have. Love that. So we've been working together for 3+ years now, I think.
Well, when did you start?
2021.
Yeah.
So
3+
yeah.
years.
And
that first shoot in my neighborhood.
I was just thinking about that. Oh my
I
gosh.
was like, you really don't have to take this many pictures.
Yeah, you were so funny. And I was like, oh no, I was intimidated. I was like, I know this woman. She's incredible. She does a lot of business. I gotta be good. I gotta take so many photos.
You did.
I did.
You did.
And then we got to know each other better. And then I was able to kind of like jive with the Brenda vibe, which is not very difficult.
Thank you. But yeah, and that's the key is to jive together.
Yeah. I think that's been
some fun stuff.
That's one of the reasons why I think everyone in this team that has met you is always like, yeah, Brenda, we got Brenda this week. We get 3 Brenda shoots this week. I think we had 3 in one day.
I think we did
at one point.
I think we did. And that was a little easy. Yeah.
That was good.
Time for some more.
Yes.
Yeah. Hint, hint, wink, wink.
Yeah, 2025.
Listener.
Yeah. That's so funny. Oh my God. It is slow right now, but I think that's natural. Like it's the holiday season. It's the holiday season. That's the wings in my head. I know. You look very festive. I love it.
Most wonderful time of year.
It really is.
See, but I feel like us as entrepreneurs and business owners, like it's never really slow.
No.
It's just a different kind of busy.
100%.
Right?
Yeah. Like we're slow with shoots.
Right.
But we're super busy getting caught up on all the things that we couldn't.
Yeah. All of that working on your business. Like there's so much involved with real estate that a lot of people don't even know that we deal with.
Yeah.
Like, let's just start with, we are sole practitioners. We're our own business. We're self-employed. We're 1099. However else you want to label it.
Right.
It's us, you know? So if we're not out in the trenches showing houses, writing contracts, negotiating, we need to work on our business, that marketing plans, the financial management, oh my God, I need to go buy a lockbox.
Yeah. Yeah. There's like the general maintenance that's like you never have time to do. Or the things that you're like, you know, I have time to do it, so I'm going to get the nice lockbox and do, you know, or go out and do the research of this and that and make it better for next time. And you're a stats girl.
I'm a stats girl, right? I
love stats. Yeah.
This time of year, let's dive into some graphs. Charts and graphs.
I'd love to know some of those stats that you have too, because like we can talk shop after at some point, but you're having other people's information in the same demographic is like crucial to our business.
Stats are, I use stats to motivate myself. Like I look at everything that I do like month over month and then year over year. And like, let's just start with month over month. If something's off, like if I don't have as many pendings then I'm like, oh, what was different? And then when I look back, oh, well, you didn't do the things that put you in front of people.
Yeah. So accountability too.
Yeah. But a lot of that has to come from within.
Yeah.
So like being accountable to yourself, but then having also a group of colleagues that will hold you accountable too. Not be your yes men.
Like a mastermind type thing.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's awesome.
You don't want people to be like, oh, well, you'll be fine.
You think you're great. And you're like doing a great. And then, but you have
like,
to
no, you need.
Yeah.
Right.
I gotcha. That's cool.
And you have to figure out your own definition of success too. Like,
right.
This time of year is really, really weird because, you know, most of us all have annual goals. So we're all trying to hit those.
Right.
But then in a heartbeat, it all goes back to zero.
Yeah, it is. Yes, I
Because that's the
totally.
other thing. A lot of people don't realize, like, we're not salaried, right?
Right.
We are 100% commission.
Yeah.
And it's important to know, too, that those checks that people see going across the table, those aren't our checks.
Right.
Those are our brokers'
Right.
checks.
Yeah.
And then we get a check after the fact, right?
Yep.
So we enter every single year not knowing if we're going to make $1 or make $1 million.
Yeah.
And the cool part about
I was
that
gonna say,
too,
kind of exciting,
it's yes,
but sometimes not.
but yeah, right. And it's it's up to you
Yeah.
to make it happen.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of cool part.
Yeah. I think that's kind of exhilarating to a degree if for the right personality. If that drive, like you said,
Is got to find the happy.
yeah. Yeah. Like you said, sometimes your goals are different. Sometimes it's not money, right? Sometimes it's like more time with my family or
Well, what you could have all the money in the world, but if you're not happy and not having
What's the
fun with
point?
it, what's
Yeah.
the point? Right?
I totally.
Because what do you want the money for?
Yep.
Sorry, yeah, it's not just for you.
Yeah. 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 There's definitely, and for us in our side of things, the growth is different because I'm just adding people and skills.
Right.
And so like I'm constantly thinking about like the branch that's going to go out next year. Like, what are we going to add to it? We're going to do maybe product photography. Maybe we're going to bring in, so many different things. So those goals are very different than money goals, but they are hand in hand.
They are.
Right.
They are, exactly. And everybody talks about like work-life balance. It's not work-life balance. There's no way. I'm saying I'm going to pull gender into this, especially as women.
Yeah.
There's no work-life balance.
Yep.
But I think the goal is work-life harmony.
Yeah. Yeah.
And also, if you enjoy what you're doing, work might have a little bit more of a bigger percentage.
If it's fulfilling too.
Right.
So like I know real estate for one is not like any other industry that I've ever worked in that is really feeling like 24/7. Right?
Isn't that crazy?
It's crazy. So I know there's doctors and there's nurses and there's on-call emergency people, and they really are 24/7, right? They really but so then we'll get into that too because of your background too, right? So but and also being a business owner and an entrepreneur, and your clients are doing like the biggest transactions that they'll ever have in their life, and you have to make them okay with things that don't feel okay all the time, right? Yeah. And like you're so good at that for one. I've seen the way that you are with your clients, and the way you are with us is similar, right? But I think people don't understand that part of it at all. Like if they've never had a transaction, or if they've only had a bad transaction with someone who maybe wasn't there for them or didn't lead them or guide them the way they needed, then they could see that check and that's like all they think about is like that you make this money for putting a sign up and doing some pictures and then that's it. Like that. That's crazy to think about because I see what you guys do day in and day out. I only see maybe 20% of it too, and it's a lot. From our perspective.
There is a lot, but it's kind of like anything. If you get the right fit, then, and you don't have a miserable experience, it's kind of like insurance, right?
Yeah.
You don't ever want to use it. Shout out to my brother, farmers.
Yeah. Plug them away. Yeah.
But it's kind of like you don't realize how bad your insurance policy is until you need it.
Yes.
And
yeah,
I recently came across, I forget what it was, but the bottom line was, I was like, you know what? An agent's days in the market can positively impact a client's days on the market. And of course, I'm focusing on sellers.
Right.
But I think that within our own industry, we've kind of done ourselves a disservice pounding our chest and going, hey, under contract in 3 days. It wasn't 3 days.
Yeah.
It was sometimes, I've spoken to clients literally for years. Hey, we're thinking about selling. Okay. And maybe years is an exaggeration, but
before 2020, maybe not.
Well, right.
you know,
But
like,
even now, it can be like months.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
talking
yeah.
to people now who are talking about next February, next March. I had an appointment last year, and they're not ready to sell until 2025. I was like, "Excuse me."
Oh,
Like, it's it's like April of 2024.
yeah, yeah.
But
Oh, yeah, yeah,
to get top dollar, you do need to provide a great product.
yeah.
So doing all those little things and having that guidance. So like you said earlier, to be that coach, that guide, that escort. It's really, it's quite an honor.
Yeah,
Share
I
that
was
with
just gonna
people.
say that whole enjoying what you do thing. It shows your character too. That if and like that's the thing about being an agent or a broker, right? It shows your character whether you're good or bad, right? Because you there's just so much heaviness to the notion of having to sell your home, and sometimes it's happy, sometimes it's stressful, and then like if you have like this amazing clientele of like really close in proximity, and they're all great, and the homes are great, and to me that speaks to who you are.
Oh, thank you.
Well, I mean, I feel like it's a given, but in case anybody hasn't figured that out yet, and
I missed them after closing.
Yeah,
we are so tight during the whole journey.
You know everything. You're like, how's your niece's new baby?
We go like 6 to 8 weeks just from contract to close, and then the time that you worked with them, like around them, and then all of a sudden they close, and I'm like, hey,
I miss you, especially if they don't live nearby anymore.
Well, and that's been the thing since COVID is that a lot of things, like on the listing side, it is often end of life or a really big life event that caused the need to sell. Sprinkled in with some fun downsizing.
Yeah.
But a lot of it has been things that aren't necessarily happy to deal with.
Right.
Dealing with the full spectrum of emotions.
Right. I think that's I think that to me, if I were in your shoes, I would feel like that's probably where you take a lot of care, because you have to be careful to be leading the way, but also meeting their needs, and maybe they don't even know
their needs.
And but and actually the experience that you've had in doing that helps guide you through the process with another family or another homeowner that's doing the same thing.
The goal of every transaction is to get better for the next one.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. So I love that.
Sorry for the ones early on, but
Oh, I was just talking about that with Andrew was sitting here, and I was working for a kitchen design company, and I was like, I'm a photographer, let me take your photos. And he will never say the photos are crap. He's too nice, but he was like, you can definitely see the progression. Like, thank you for being so kind. But yes, but you have to start somewhere,
You do. So shout out to everybody that puts their trust in both of us, every single day, and helps us get better so that we can better serve them.
Well, I gotta say, working with you has definitely helped us get better too. You're a positive, light for us to be around. Like, we look forward to our shoots with you. Connor looks forward to the shoots with you. And we're really appreciative that you're cool and flexible with working with either one of us.
I love it. And I always tell my clients, I'm like, now listen, like we've worked together long enough, like we know each other's rhythm. Like we're just gonna do this.
Yeah.
Your house is gonna feel like a movie set.
Yeah.
Or we're gonna come in, we're gonna do our thing. Don't worry. It seems like not long enough.
Yeah, it's so efficient.
Yeah.
We've got so really
can't be done already.
Yeah.
No, we don't have as many bloopers as we used to.
Well, we actually I did have Mandy start looking for them. So be on the lookout. It might not be before the holiday, but all of the bloopers that we have of you are from years prior.
Yeah.
And then there's like a handful. And some of the stuff you don't want me to air. So I know I think they're great content, but not for
standing there doing a voiceover. I'm like, I just pretend I'm talking to Connor. Connor's sitting there probably going like, oh my word, she just get it right.
No, it's all good. We love that. We love the joking and like the laughter. If you don't have that, even in serious times, like I've noticed lately, like I love to play games with friends, but like they can't be too serious.
No.
Because then I'm like, life is too, make me roll on the floor laughing. Like, that's what I want now.
Humor's we've discovered a big value of mine.
Yes. Oh, huge.
I'm that girl that, sorry, hilarious. I laugh at a funeral.
Yeah.
There's going to be something.
You have to.
Makes me.
You have to.
Yeah.
I've seen some pretty funny TikTok videos or any just social media videos of people who've passed who do silly things so that they're prepared at their funeral. So like they have like prank their guests, and I'm like,
God, that's funny.
I could totally see myself doing that. Like, am I not? Because I don't want people to be so sad after I pass. I mean, they will, but you know,
I want it to be a little.
Yeah, a little bit. They could go home and cry themselves to sleep, but let's make them laugh before they.
There you go. Do both. There you go.
So you've been in real estate, I'm going to guess.
Okay.
15 years?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
I was just.
It was July of 2009.
Okay.
So for those of you who are
That was
well versed in
bad time.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a bad.
Alas, everybody's look at me like, girl,
Like, what are you doing?
like, yeah, what are you doing?
Do you remember what the mortgage rates were back then? Because I do.
I don't.
I bought my house in July of 2008,
Okay.
8.8%.
There you go.
So
I remember being extra super excited about 6%.
yes.
So yeah, I'm like, okay, 4.
So we're not really in unprecedented times with the mortgage rate.
You know, it's a cycle.
Yeah. Yep.
You know, what goes down must come up.
Yep.
Vice versa.
And supply and demand.
Yeah.
Sell, sell, sell.
Well,
let's go.
Certain percentage.
Yeah.
Sort of kept us all like, yeah.
Honor. Yeah. A lot of people are holding out.
They are. But then there comes a point, and I was actually speaking with some buyers yesterday who are what I call move-up buyers. Like they've had their first home for a while, and now they're like, you know what? We want more space. We want our needs and wants are a little bit different now, and we're in a place to move up. And a lot of people have been stalling, waiting for rates, definitely waiting for inventory. Like that makes sense.
That's tough.
But there also comes a point, and I think that over the course of the next 2 years, we're going to see more transactions simply from the root cause of people wanting to live.
Yeah.
Like, you know what? I'm not going to wait for that magic number anymore. It is what it is.
So every listing we go to, if the homeowner's there, and let's say the agent isn't really either, we strike up conversation and we'll ask them, like, you know, how do you know Brenda? Or, and then, you know, so, you know, where are you moving? What's your next chapter? And last year we definitely saw a lot of people that were like, I'm tired of waiting.
Yeah, it's time to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's time to go. So I think we're going to see more of that time, you know, because we're getting into this, be like, what, at the 4th year?
So I know,
you know?
Yeah.
I think some people
are just
like,
tired.
You know what? It's time to live.
Yeah. It is what it is right now.
Chapter happened.
Yeah.
So,
and before you 2009, you started real estate. And before that, you were in.
I was in healthcare.
Yeah.
The most stable of all industries, right?
Oh, yeah.
So my degree is actually in nutrition.
Oh.
Have no fear. Do as I say, not as I do.
Oh, yeah. I was like, well, I mean, I never asked you about what you eat, but you know,
and it's not a model.
But in my mind, I was like, oh, I have some questions for her. But then you were like, never mind. That's in the past. I'll tell you all about real estate.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So
I was the purchasing, receiving, and nutrition director at Bellevue Women's Hospital.
Oh, okay.
And when Bellevue and Ellis merged, I lost my position.
Oh.
And that was a great place.
Yeah.
Great place. And then I went to work for the American Heart Association as their medical director for the Northeast affiliate. And in the first quarter of 2009, I lost my position. So the first loss was Halloween 2007. The second one was March 2009. Oh. It was like, yikes.
That's close.
Yeah. So I was damaged goods.
Oh.
And I couldn't find anything that was at least a lateral move. You know,
yeah,
you always want to progress,
right?
But I definitely didn't want to go backwards.
Yeah. the job market was tough then as well as the house
really
market.
tough. Yeah, I couldn't find anything. And real estate was always something that was in the back of my mind that I was going to do when I was a little old lady. And because it's so easy, right?
Oh my
It's so easy.
I
Go
think
show
a lot of
houses and
people think that,
point at the
right?
kitchen and the Christmas tree could go here. And yeah, so I thought, you know what? I was a little broken because of the layoffs.
Yep.
And I thought, you know what? Maybe now's the time to get my license. I did.
And which brokerage did you start with?
I started with the one that I am still at, and that is Miranda Real Estate Group. Yes.
That's awesome.
Yay, Miranda.
That says a lot about Miranda Real Estate Group.
It does.
Really.
It does.
We love them there. I mean, we got you from there. And actually, we got them from you.
Yeah.
I think you were our first Miranda client.
I think so. I think so.
It maybe have been, maybe there's like one or two listings prior, but like nothing regular. So that's really cool. That's super cool. Yeah, I love that they have a lot of educational.
Oh my God, the training's amazing.
Yeah.
So committed. Like you can do something every single day if you so choose.
And it feels like a family, like a family environment, like.
There are definitely quality people there that you can count on to be there for you when you need them.
Yeah, that's amazing. I think that's awesome.
It is.
And then like, of course, having, you guys are so local to me. Like the office is in Clifton Park where I live.
Yeah.
So that was like.
And one in Rotterdam.
Yes. Yeah. Well, and originally our shoots were like Amsterdam, Broad Albin. And I was like, this has to get closer to home or it's.
Isn't it funny though? The more experienced you get, I even found this with my business. In the beginning, you just go anywhere, right?
Yeah.
Because you're desperate.
Yeah.
And to give people a peek behind the curtain, I got my license in July. I got my first paycheck in December.
Wow.
I got my second paycheck in March.
Wow.
Now, like, put it in the context of I was in healthcare. I had a very good job in health.
Right.
I had a salary. I had benefits. And I remember my husband looking at me one day going like, really?
Because you're probably working.
Oh, yeah.
Johnny, you're working full week.
Like, yeah, money's going out, but there's nothing coming in. And I'm really blessed that I had the support and him stand by me to go through this to build my business.
I can appreciate that. I totally understand that.
Like my whole family, my girls were in 2nd and 7th grade.
Oh my gosh. When
it started,
they were just babies.
They were babies. But they've learned, it's so funny, like with COVID and living home and everything, like my eldest, she can tell you how to navigate multiple offers.
Yeah. That's so funny.
It's amazing what they pick up, right?
That's so funny.
Yeah, they have to be like my assistants in the car when we travel and everything.
Can you text this and drive me?
And
no, say it like this.
Exactly. Well, it's funny because my eldest, she caught on very quick, like, okay, insert this emoji here and say this. Yeah,
that's so funny. I love that. So back to the original. So you were in the medical nutrition field, nutrition, and then you started with Miranda Real Estate Group, and you're still there.
I am.
Do you have stats like how many houses have you sold?
It's over 500.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's crazy.
Thank you.
So over 500 in 15 years, that's a lot of houses. And your first year was not like last year.
The most I sold in a year was during COVID. I sold 65 and a half. What's the half? That means somebody helped me with it.
Yeah. Co-listed or?
Yeah, like a co-listing sort of thing. But I don't have a team.
Yeah. That's
me.
Crazy. You did all that volume on your own.
This year I'll be in the 40s.
Wow.
Knock on wood.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And usually about 60% sellers, 40% buyers.
So what's your philosophy? Like, what do you think? I mean, obviously consistency for you, like you've been putting in the work since day one and that's paid off. right? You're not.
Yeah, because let's face it, everybody knows a million agents, right? Like, sadly, the bar of entry is so low, but there also the failure rate is so high because a lot of people don't understand how it works.
It's like 90%, isn't it?
It's definitely in the 80s, I think. Close. Yeah. I heard today that there are 1.8 million agents. Don't quote me, people, but this is what I...
Yeah.
But if I recall correctly, 1.8 million agents in the United States, and 700,000 didn't even do one transaction. Yeah.
Like last year or
like
this year?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, and there's something crazy like with the number of agents, even in the capital region, with how many listings there are.
Right.
And then you're like, right, yeah, I would not be.
Right.
I would
definitely more agents than listings.
Yeah.
Well, because like today, there's less than 2,000 single family homes on the market today. When I logged in this morning, I want to say it was like 1,952 single family homes, including new construction, were looking for buyers. Now, to put that in the context of years ago, there were 4,000 to 6,000 homes on the market on a regular basis looking for buyers.
Wow.
And sometimes more. Things ebbed and flowed, and it depended on the year. But yeah. And then when it was quote unquote so easy, a lot of people got into it.
And during COVID.
Yeah.
So many people were getting their licenses. I mean, I think people were scared, like for their jobs and for their stability, and and it seemed like, this is the move I should make, so I'll be okay. But then a lot of people fell off in like 21, 22 when things kind of started to get back to normal-ish, and like the housing market, do you think it's shifted?
Yes.
Yeah, I feel like it's shifted. Like we were on this massive trajectory and we're still going up.
It's still definitely a seller's market.
Yeah.
It's on supply and demand, but I think that buyers are taking a little bit more time to consider their decision, which they should. I was laughing with some of my clients recently. I'm like, okay, we've been here to 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Now decide if you want to invest for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Making fun of really quite the whole industry.
Yeah.
Because it is. Think about it. It's funny.
Yeah.
We open, so I'm just talking, of course, about residential resales, but we open our homes to strange.
I know.
Like, hey,
just strange concept.
Right. Like, even think about open houses. That's when we literally open the door and say, we don't know who's coming in, but
I know. A lot of people who don't want to do that, like don't want to do open.
Oh, I don't think it's.
Do you think it's a successful strategy for everyone?
There's out there that less than 2% of homes sell via open houses.
Okay. So then
2%.
A lot of people are doing the open houses like on a weekly basis.
They are. So
I can see how this could help, though.
It helps a lot of new agents who haven't established clients.
So they're gaining buyers that maybe don't have someone represent them yet.
Exactly.
That's great.
Yeah, at least it's a great opportunity to interact with them. Absolutely. It exposes, for a seller, it exposes your house. You never know.
Right. And some people go to open houses because they're nosy.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh my God, it's so funny. My husband and I.
You've done that?
So way back before real estate was even like on my radar as a career choice, I was like, let's just go to the open house.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm not doing that. I'm going, don't worry. The owners aren't there.
Yeah. Just curious.
Yeah. We have. Don't we walk in and the owner's sitting right in the.
Sometimes they do want to stay.
Yeah.
Do you recommend that?
No. Well, I always, in my brain, which is very food focused, I don't want to really know what's happening in the kitchen.
Right.
When I go out to eat, I don't want to know what's happening in the kitchen. So just like if somebody comes to my house, I don't want to hear, I don't want to know.
Yeah.
It's my house.
What you don't know,
like it
can't hurt you.
Exactly.
Yep. And that's the fun part now about when we enter homes and there's cameras everywhere.
No.
And you're like, so there's, just so you know.
Yeah. So you know. That wallpaper is beautiful.
Yeah. Yep. That's a tough one. But I mean, typically it's just a weird thing having people in your house, and like at the same time, there's no other way to
how
sell it. It's like well, I mean, obviously we can capture videos and photos, but we can't capture scent or not yet anyway. Imagine I could put that. What if I did? I said to you, Brenda, I can put scent in your listing package and
crazy.
Or like, so, I don't know.
Right now it smells like Christmas.
Yeah.
Like you pull this listing, click through the pictures. I smell balsam.
Like, can you imagine?
I smell gingerbread.
Can you imagine?
I smell dog.
Yeah. Then I'm not going to.
Oh, you cats live here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Yeah, full disclosure, I love my dog.
Yeah. They are stinky though. Like
sometimes.
Yeah, we like if it's raining, we take Forrest for a walk and we have to sit in his
wet dog
crate for a little bit. We're like, we gotta take care of that.
Well, and that's where
or light that balsam fir candle.
Yes, exactly. That's a good one. And I swear, like when you're getting your house ready for the market, you need to bring somebody with a good smeller.
Yeah.
Like despite the size of my nose, it's not a good smell.
Doesn't pick up on.
No.
Yeah, that's true because sometimes you'll be like, do you smell anything in here?
Right.
And I have to like decipher if you want the truth.
Oh, I always want the truth. Always want the truth.
Like, do I tell the truth?
Yeah, but they should come in with like a neighbor or a family member who's like, not, and somebody who will share the truth.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely, I think people get excited too, like especially if they find something in their price range, they overlook things.
Right.
Because
that's the beauty of having an agent who really is your guide, your coach.
Yeah.
It is, I always tell my buyers, listen, my job here is to point out the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Mm-hmm.
It's your job to decide how good, bad, or ugly it is.
Right. And then you also have people that you entrust to look at the, like, overall when it comes to inspection time and comes to, like,
I'm not an inspector, but I've been on a lot of inspections. I'll pick up things.
Yeah.
And, I also have a great network where if I see something, I've been known at showings to take a snapshot of something, send it to my inspector contact and be like, hey, should we run?
Yeah.
And that's what it's so great. Yeah. So great to have those.
That relationships. Yeah.
It's huge.
Yeah. That must be great for them too, because they know that they're not going to have to tell you bad news when they're already bought, like the buyers are already like buying into this idea of this house. And then they have to be like, bad news. or maybe not, but
well, there's typically not a challenge that we can't work through.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. I mean, that's what everybody's job is to make everybody's goal a reality, right? Sometimes it requires extra negotiations.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes things do show up and you're like, you know what? Not the right choice. Let's cancel.
Yeah.
Cancellation and release, and let's go shop for a new house.
Yeah.
I had an inspector once, this was years and years ago. They looked at me and said, I'm sorry. And I said, well, what are you sorry about? Well, they're going to cancel the contract. I'm like, yeah. Like, my motivation is my client's happiness.
Yeah.
And that's just not like me being corny.
Yeah.
Like, I always say that you may have heard it. My goal is to run into somebody at Hannaford or wherever and have them happy to see me, not turn around and run the other way.
Right.
Happy because I did right by them.
Yeah.
So if we uncover things at an inspection that make it something that listen, we can't come to a successful resolution that makes everybody comfortable, guess what? We got to look for a new house.
Yeah. Yeah. That's like a huge, I guess, how do you present that to people? Like, do you tell them that in your listing presentation?
Just like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, so in my listing presentation, for when you're getting your house ready for the market, we need to spend that time so that you do have a very short, remember the days.
Yeah.
The experience.
Yeah.
How does my experience translate to a seller's success or smoothness of the transaction is knowing things to look at. So certain houses, certain neighborhoods, certain areas. Hey, have you considered this? Do they have septic or do they have public sewer? Should we look at this? Things to
preemptively,
exactly, like a pre-listing inspection.
Yeah,
to really look at things and get the maintenance pieces,
get all of the information.
Right.
Yeah,
right. So then
I've seen you do that sometimes. If we get there when you're doing paperwork or whatever, or just following up on something, I almost had part of your spiel down for a little while there because we were slamming in like 2021. I was like, Brenda, I think if you were out sick, I could probably do half of that. Just that portion, though.
There you go.
Yeah, that's so cool.
It is
So funny.
because you don't like surprises.
No.
Those aren't good for anybody.
What are you predicting for? That's a big question, right?
Oh, for 2025?
2025 in the housing market, not just for you,
Yeah.
but maybe a little bit for what your goals are, but also what do you think is going to happen?
I think, well, they say that nationally we're going to see more transactions next year.
Really?
I think.
Yeah, very exciting. I'm like, really? I'm glad I'm hiring.
I think that if that happens, it's a product of what we were talking about earlier, time. Yeah, people can't put their lives on hold for.
Yeah.
So it's people are going to be like, you know what, it's time.
Mhm.
While I mean, real estate never stops because life always happens, right?
Yeah, you always say that. That's the thing I always have in the back of my mind when I'm wondering.
And
People die, people get divorced, people get married, people have children.
Yep.
They have a new job. There's so many reasons that they have to sell.
Exactly.
It's never going to stop.
Right.
Right.
What changes are those who want to move versus those who need to move. And the volume of who's engaged in the market ebbs and flows based on that. So now people who want to move will probably take a break for the holidays.
Yeah.
Versus the guy who tomorrow walks in and finds out he's moving to Kansas. He needs to move. He's getting engaged in this winter.
Yeah. Yeah.
That sort of thing. You know, Edith passes away and her family needs to sell the house. You know, life does happen. So what do I think is going to happen? Well, Mary, we have recently finished the business plan for 2025.
I'm like, have you? I'm like, tell me. I want to know.
Yeah, we're gonna see more of the same with the goal of just simply being better.
Good.
Yeah,
That's good. I like that. That's similar to where we're projecting is just yes, more.
right.
And like more everything, not just more transactions, you know, like
Right.
more life, more experiences, more, you know, being better at being us.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that transpires in a lot of ways to success.
It does.
In
It's
so many
it's
ways.
down to the relationships. Yeah, I recently had a client appreciation event, and oh my God, it was so cool to stand there and see a room full of people that you could reflect on their journeys and then see the relationships that then they develop because they know people. Like they know each other.
Year after, or even like year after year, like they see them at the same event and we're like, oh my gosh, she was so great. And they can relate to their experience with you. That's awesome.
I'm blessed to have an amazing group of people. Like they're friends. Like for me, it's not about the price point. I've sold a $5,000 house.
Wow.
I did not forget a zero.
Oh, wow.
I've sold a $5,000 house. I have sold a much more expensive. I have not cracked $1 million yet.
Really?
Yeah.
Not even
It's okay.
Saratoga area? No. Wow.
No.
You were close though. Close though.
It's okay. But that's the thing. You know what?
It's not about that.
It's not about that.
I don't think it is. Not for you.
About that.
Yeah.
It's about healthy collaboration.
Yeah.
And it's about helping somebody's goal become reality.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Way I mean, let's not lie. I am competitive as the I am. Like one of my dear friends, when the kids were playing softball, she's like, as long as they have fun. I'm like, oh no,
my best
oh no, honey. We're not doing all this for funsies.
Oh no, and your girls are fabulous. They really are. They're good kiddos.
Thank you.
They are really great.
Yeah.
So I feel like we're gonna have to do like a part 2 of this.
Ooh, that'd be fun.
Like,
Yeah.
or maybe
See what I got for Christmas?
bring a guest. Yeah. I actually want to have a podcast with dogs. I know that sounds ridiculous, but how funny would it be if we interviewed him?
So he will actually, you can have one thing in each hand, and he'll choose which one he wants.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, it's very cute.
That is cute.
You can follow him on Instagram.
I got to find him.
Yep. Sir Henry. Sir Henry Wesley, maybe.
He's super cute.
He's a good boy.
Is he?
I know it publicly. He'll be 3 in February.
Okay, so he's past. I remember when he was a puppy, and you were like, "Yeah, we got a puppy."
Yeah.
He's very puppy.
Brenda didn't want a puppy, but Brenda.
Now you're on
I do love him.
Yeah.
See him publicly admitting at family.
Hold it against you now. Yeah, our Forrest is just over 1, and he's starting to come around the corner from like obnoxious, like sock stealer.
Yeah, he's been a very good dog from.
Oh yeah, I think I remember you telling me that you're like, he's actually
he really is
good.
A good boy.
So you can't be mad at him now.
I can't.
Yeah,
he's not my dog, so it's okay. I love him.
Oh,
I'm like 3rd on
the tier,
4th in the food chain.
Oh no.
And the one child doesn't live with us.
Oh my God.
I'm probably 4th on it. It's so funny. 5th if Papa's around.
I think we should have an interview.
Or my mother spoon feeds some ice cream.
Oh, so that may be.
So I think 6 or 7.
That's like grandma, though. I mean, like grandma shows up with candy in their pockets. Like that's what her job is.
Exactly.
Too funny.
It's funny.
So how do people get a hold of you if they want you to either represent them in selling or buying?
Well, you can call me directly or text me, 518-527-0800. Social media, look for Agent Brenda. My email address directly is agentbrenda22@gmail.com.
Awesome.
And it's never too early to plan. I do always tell people when I leave an appointment with them, I am not one of those people that's going to call you every 37 hours and say, how you doing? You ready? You ready? You ready? Like that is so obnoxious. So just do unto others.
Yeah.
I'm there to educate and guide. And then when it's time for your real estate journey, continue to educate, continue to guide, and then throw in a lot of consistent communication. I don't ever want people to wonder what's happening with their transaction.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Thank you for being on our
episode. You. It was fun.
Yeah, this was fun. We'll have to do this again. I want to say in a year, but I think maybe a summer one would be.
Ooh, that'd be
like a summer update.
That'd be great.
Are we halfway there to what we thought was going to happen, or did we get
like a market check-in?
Yeah,
right.
Like, I'm super curious about next year because I feel like I've been working for another company during an election year.
Okay.
But not on my own. So it's curious to me how the behavior changed. It was like a tiny little blip in November, and then it was like right back to normal. So I'm so curious about the year.
I think the rev up to all of it, like just that anticipation.
Yeah, people didn't know what to think.
Right.
Yeah.
What?
Now if we're all
you want to think about
life
it.
is still happening.
It is.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's not over.
Spare everybody my thought. Yeah. But I'm just like, you know what? Like, focus on grassroots.
Yeah. What's happening in your local life?
A little parcel in Glenville.
Yep. I think that's a really healthy perspective, to be honest with you, because it actually helps you be more present on a regular basis anyway. Like I could get all caught up in like school board meetings and and it's like, my kids are going to be done soon. It's not that I don't care.
You know what? That's a great topic though too, because my kids have both been done with school for a while, but it still matters.
It does.
Because even though it's not supposed to matter, schools are all supposed to be equal. Let's face it, general Joe and Jane public has an opinion.
Yeah.
And that opinion of whether or not your house in that school district, whether or not your school district is quote unquote good or quote unquote not good, impacts your house value.
It really does. But you're not allowed to talk about it.
No, can't talk about it. So, yeah, another thing on the list.
I mean, we can talk about it, but we can't talk about the specific house that's on the market with the actual school.
No, and I'm just saying that no matter what community you're in, you should care.
Right,
Whether
right.
you have kids in those
Or not.
right
Because of the market value of your home is going to be impacted by.
perceived market value.
Oh, yeah. Oh, this is why we need Agent Brenda, right?
It's interesting, isn't it?
It really is.
Yeah, let's do a 6-month.
Yeah, I really think we should.
We should bring the psychologist in.
And we should. And maybe lemon drop martinis. Because that's a good time of the year to have one of those. That would actually, it's a good time of the year for all the time. Yeah, like that.
Actually, yes.
But yes, we're grateful for you, not for just being on the show, but for being a huge part of our business.
Right back at you.
We look forward to all of our shoots with you.
Coming up.
I'm excited. I'm already excited.
Me too.
Yeah.
Thank you.